All right, what's going on? It's Friday, it's Friday, August 9th, and let's get into it. I said I wasn't going to really add to any positions or do anything except for day trade today. And that's sure enough what I did. I'm still in all this same stuff that I was yesterday. So let's go over it. Bonds had a good day. Kind of sold off, but I would have been more surprised if they just kept going straight up, honestly. So this is good, maybe a little bit of a consolidation. Like if these really ripped today, I would have probably got out. But if we can get some consolidation and kind of start trending up, right around 98 would be the price target, depending on the type of consolidation. I may move the price target to 100, so I would probably get out like 99. But good day, 1% move is good. So yeah, I'm still in these calls. Those are like 70 days out, so I've got plenty of time on those. Copper. Copper was up, although it just sold off all day. It's not something that I like to see, but again, one bad day or two bad days or three isn't that big of a deal unless it's like a character change, right? So, for example, this right here would have been a character change and a break of support, so that would be one bad day. If I was holding these around here, I would have got out. So that's yeah. But on the weekly chart, still looks good. Still good risk to reward. I'm up a little bit on these. Was it yesterday that I got into this? So I'm up a little bit. Gold had a decent day. Looks good. Gold looks good. Let's look at this on the weekly chart. Nice long consolidation. If this could move out, that would be fantastic. Yeah. So let's do a little Fibonacci on this. So, like this right here. Has already hit, so maybe we do a different one. So if this is the consolidation, let's do one from a little conservative. Let's go from here to here and see what happens. So where's this? 2550-ish. So yeah, it's got room to run. Guess that would be my target. Yeah. All right. Gold still in that. I'm still in everything. XLF. Decent day. These calls are now in the money, even though I started them on this day and then I added to it on this day right here at the 50-day moving average. So I am down a little bit in those, but those are very long dated. Now they're in the money. Call options. Let's look at Goldman Sachs. Oh, I'm in Goldman Sachs as well. Still from the same place. Right here. Oh no, that was right here. 459. That still looks good. Let's look at JP Morgan, see how these are recovering. This gap was filled. All right, now the big one, Berkshire Hathaway. looks all right. It's had a decent recovery. So we'll see what happens. You know, this is not out of the woods, right? Like back when I was in these in here. But it can still work. Let's see how Robinhood did today. I really have no clue. It's up 1%. I'm in Robinhood, whatever. Bitfarms, small position Bitfarms. That was down, but recovered nicely. Held the 200-day moving average just barely. What happened with Hut? Hut was down a little bit. What is this? Like a little bear flag or something looking like? Let's see how Bitcoin looks. Yeah, good day. Good day for Bitcoin. This gap was filled back here, so like I said last night, you know, I wouldn't be going after it. And then this gap was filled here, so, and it recovered nicely. So, and this still looks good. Kind of. I mean, I'm not going to start a new position in this for a little while. So, still on NASDAQ. It's okay. It's alright. Let's see what the weekly close is like. It's okay. It's alright. Still in those, so whatever. Yeah, that's it. Did we go over copper? Yeah, we did. Bonds. Yeah, so that's everything that I'm in. Let's go over futures here. Copper. I was all excited about copper. Ready to trade in the morning somewhere around here, so 8:45-ish. 3.9985, so like right in here somewhere. And got out at 4.0015. So right here, let's zoom in, talk about why. Well, this whole area was acting as support. Again, this is just on a 5-minute time frame. So, and then this right here was my price target, and so I got out. And that worked out good because the rest of the day was down and I didn't go after it ever again. All right, now let's see, we're gonna go over, which one do I want to go over first? Let's go over micros first, and then we'll go to Dow. So I was kind of managing 2 positions at one time, and some decent size for me personally. So, in the grand scheme of things, not a lot, but for me, it is certainly. Let's just do Dow first. So, where did I start this position? Somewhere in here. So the first one, 39,668. Yeah, 668. So first one was right here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Right here. Got booted down. I added to this somewhere in here. 39646. 39646. So right here. And we'll talk about the mistakes I made on this and what went wrong after this. And then I added for a third time down here 39592. 39592. Yeah. So right here. So all through here I was down big for me. Right? You know, for most people that's nothing. You know, people that like, yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this was nothing. But for me, I was not happy. Now, the only reason that I stayed in this down in here was because of NASDAQ still looked fine. Same with ES. Looked fine. So this was all throughout in here. But this whole area kept getting supported, you know? And this still looked totally fine. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to be watching this. And when this breaks, then I would get out of YM. Now, I got a buy signal right here in NASDAQ. And I had a little internal battle going on with myself of, you know, I'm down a lot in Dow. Do I want to, you know, go after this? And I decided, yes, I do. Because whether I'm down or not, if I get a buy signal, I go for it. But what I did is I went over to the micros. And right here at 600, boom, bought right there. Like literally right there, 602. So right there. This was acting great, and I thought, all right, here we go. We're turning the corner. We're going to be rounding up, and slammed down. And I'm like, oh no. So now I'm down in 2 positions. Not very happy, but this kept getting supported here. So all these candlesticks in here, I'm like, you know, there's still buying power in here, you know. People are still coming in. There's people with, you know, good money coming in supporting this. So I stayed in here. My price target on these for the micros was 633.5. So I had set my sell for right here, 633.5. So as this started to work, I'm like, yes, these were up nicely. YM was up decent, I think. It was right here. Yeah, so at this point I was up in this disastrous position. I was up. And I was like, oh man, you know what? You need to get out of these. But then I thought, no, my, you know, emotions doesn't matter. So just chill out. It hasn't hit your price target, so just chill. And then literally like the next second gets booted and I'm like, oh God, you know, like just literally right here. It was so close to my price target. It was so close. And then just boom, dumped, right? And I'm like, oh. But I got supported. I'm like, all right, whatever. Anyways, ended up hitting the price target and sold at like the essentially the highest tick, 1 tick off of the high on this candlestick here. And so after this had triggered, my strategy, my plan was after this had triggered for NASDAQ, then I would get out YM Oh, well, let's just talk about the end result for the micros. So, per pairing was $179. So, that's cool. And then YM. So then after that, it, triggered right here. Oh, up here, something like that for NASDAQ. I sold somewhere in here. I wrote it down. 39,644. 644. So right in here. Maybe I got to this kind of late or whatever. I just placed market order. Got out of this one. That one, if you want to go over the math, the first contract I placed was a loss of 85. The second contract I placed was a loss of 10. The third contract I placed was a gain of 260 for a total of 100 and what does that come out to? 50? Something like that, somewhere around there. 170 or something. That would be 165. So all sorts of emotional roller coasters for a small amount of money after being down big. So that's not sustainable and not good. Every once in a while you can get saved. But more often than not, trading like that is a recipe for disaster, which I've run into, especially with futures, as I've learned my strategy and continuing to learn it. So what I thought about later this evening in the gym, I was thinking about this trade and like, what did I do wrong, First of all, I added at an aggressive point here when we aren't in a massive uptrending market yet. So if you, so YM, so NQ on the hour chart is right into this trend line. This was like, all in this area when I was buying in YM. And this was like right after this candlestick down like this. So that was mistake one, an aggressive buy point, which those do work when you're in a trend day. A buy point right here around this short-term trend line will work when it's a strong, day. So like here, right? Super strong. You could buy here right off of this trend line. Buy, buy again, right? So that does work, but it needs to be a strong day. For not as a strong day, but still pretty good, I like to use the blue line here. That can work well. So anyways, I was kind of using the shorter term trend line, so that was more of an aggressive buy point. Now, the reason why I did kind of get into more of an aggressive mindset was the recovery here today. So this just great recovery, all day. In the morning. And then shot way up. So I thought, dang, that's really strong price action. And it was. But I should have zoomed out and seen, there's maybe not as good as you thought it would be. So initial buy point was wrong. Adding to a losing position of this magnitude was not the smart thing to do, and I should have waited. Like if I wasn't already out of this, then I should have waited to add. But instead, I just kind of winged it. And then adding again, yes, that did save this one for me. But that was the area where I should have just started this whole position, you know? So that was that. Now micros worked out great. And you know, I traded my plan with these, didn't really get flustered. You know, over 600 here. I thought if it gets over this, I'm buying, and I did. And it got blasted down, but down to this whole area that was still support. Also on the 15-minute chart, this still looked good to me. You know, this is all in here getting supported, so I wasn't really concerned. And that's why I added lower on this one, you know, like it was kind of acting as I thought. It was getting supported, so I was like, all right, next time it's all, you know, in this area down here, I'll just buy because it's been supported for the last 30 minutes there. So that one was a good one. But YM was not. You know, I did make a trade earlier in the morning. And these somewhere in here, yeah, like right around 6. A small move. It was like $31 per contract move. So, whatever. And that's it. Now let's kind of go over some things. So let's see how. So okay. So anyway, so that was it. So let's change gears now to the overall picture, I guess, or bigger picture. So utilities. Whatever. Financials, good. You know, regaining the 50-day moving average is good. I would like more volume, but what Bill O'Neill said is if you're not getting the volume that you were looking for on the daily chart, you can zoom out to weekly and see how the volume was compared to other weeks. And it is above average. Now the one caveat, which I don't know, is most of that volume was on the way down. So I don't know if that just makes that entire thing null and void. It very well could, I don't know. We'll have yet to see. Let's look at tech. Well, I guess we could just look at NASDAQ, but yeah, this looks good. I never trade XLK, never. Right? I just trade the Qs, you know, or TQQQ. And this is okay. Today was okay. Russell 2000. It stopped out at the 50-day moving average. I heard someone say that he never takes any signals from the Russell 2000 because they're all just shit companies. I guess that could be true. I think he's just kind of exaggerating, but... And then Dow. Oh, let's look at Dow on the daily chart. My beloved Dow. Yeah, see, I mean, it's hanging on, right? Things are hanging on. Nothing's exciting. Nothing is pressing. This is go time, you know. I see right here, S&P erases weekly losses. Um, but you know, obviously that's just a headline. You know, this looks better. So overall, things are okay. What I would be really concerned about is if things roll over and are on our down days are heavy volume down days. Then I would be like, dang, this bull market could in fact be over. But as of now, we are hanging in there, like I said, and this weekly close was good. This was good. So I mean, we're not aggressive. This is not pedal to the metal. These are not times to get aggressive. This is time to have exposure because the 200-day moving average was supported, and we are still in an uptrending market overall. So, you know, you treat it as a bull market. But manage the risk accordingly. You know, also every time during this bull market, you know, we've hit this area on the RSI. It's been a pretty good time to go long. I was caught short pretty big into here. Down through here and then blasted up. I was like, what? It was unexpected. But it was off the 200-day moving average, but whatever. So, yeah, I think did I draw this trend line here on these? No, I guess I didn't. Oh. How would you draw this? This? Yeah, I guess that's fine. That works. This day right here, I thought we were out of it, which is why I still had some decent size on. Because I had my trend line drawn differently. I had it drawn like this. So I thought, all right, we're out of the woods, baby. And no, we were not. And that was also right into the 50. And then got slammed. Plus, I was on vacation, so it's like I'm like doing other crap and not paying attention. And then, you know, then the next day it's like, worst day ever. I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, well, shit, I'm already in these suckers. So, yeah. So, anyways, let's see. Is there anything else to go over? I don't think so. You see this right here. You see what these politicians do, you guys? U.S. releases $3.5 billion to Israel to spend on U.S. weapons and military equipment. So this is our taxpayer money. This isn't like the politicians' money that they've saved up for this stuff, right? It's not like the government has saved money. So like the government can save money for anything, let alone save $3.5 billion for this, right? So this is our money, taxpayer money, that the politicians give to another country. Okay. That country then is according to this, it would appear that they're kind of required to spend on U.S. made weapons. So, Lockheed Martin or whatever. So taxpayer money gets sent overseas from the politicians. They send it overseas to Israel. It's not the politicians' money. It's taxpayer money. They send it overseas to Israel. Israel then buys weapons in U.S. companies. Those U.S. companies then lobby the government and each politician. So then those politicians pocket a lot of money from spending money that wasn't theirs in the first place. It's kind of a weird kind of money laundering sort of conundrum, right? So basically what happens is that, so these companies, Democrats go, hey, or whoever's in power, right? Whatever. Hey, we're going to get you a bunch of money, but you got to scratch my back if I scratch your back. So just hook it up with $100K, into my bank account. And that's what they do. That's literally what they do, what was going on in Ukraine. A lot of that money that was getting sent to Ukraine, taxpayer money, gets sent right back to the Democratic Party. A lot of that was going through Sam Bankman-Fried at over at FTX as well. And then, Sam Bankman-Fried's family's all family members involved with the World Economic Forum and whatever. So take that with what you will. But anyway, so it's so messed up, right? It's like, this is a taxpayer money. Like, who has voted for this? It's messed up. Like, you think a politician's going to send his money over there? Hell no. They send money over there that isn't theirs to then get money into their own bank account. And then they put a spin on it, like, we're fighting terrorism. It's like, you guys want there to be terrorism because clearly you're getting rich off of it. So, I saw this one, I think it was a really good quote of, wars are not meant to be won. They're meant to just continue on. It's like, dang, that is pretty deep. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, see, U.S. won't sanction IDF unit for human rights violation in West Bank. So whatever your views are, I try not to get political with anyone or anything, or I just personally don't like politicians in general, or governments just generally speaking, like when this whole Israel and Gaza thing was starting, people were talking about it. It's like, dude, I don't stand with either of those governments. I stand with the citizens, the people, like the good people on both sides. Don't stand with the governments on any of this stuff ever. Never. It's like a good rule of thumb is if the government tells you something, then you could just do the opposite, expect the opposite, think the opposite, right? Gensler's testify. Yeah, see, this one was interesting right here. So I saw this. So Biden's going to lift offensive weapons sale to Saudi Arabia. I guess they're kind of posturing with Iran. That's the only thing I could think of. And that was it. That's it. Anyways, guys, I hope you had a great week. Have a great weekend, a blessed weekend, and a blessed week up ahead. So See ya.